It is hypertrophy, and today's subject is why you shouldn't listen to absolutely everyone when it comes to programming. Now, I am no programming savant. If you watch Natural Hypertrophy and you saw that one video where, there was a guy called Lovely Cup of Tea, and he sent his program in, and it was a little all over the place. I'm actually Lovely Cup of Tea. This is my third channel. But yeah, I'm no super duper amazing sciencey expert when it comes to programming. However, one thing I can say is I think that these sorts of videos can sometimes be a bit of a trap for noobs. And so, if I have at least a little baseline knowledge over that sort of thing to be able to provide you information, why not? Now, again, I'm no super big guy. I don't look anywhere near as good as this guy. So, why should you listen to me? Well, here's the thing. It's going to be very clear. And also, he's very clearly on the gear, which is no shame to him, it's not really a deal. But the main critique here is not morality or whatever, it's just general poopy-doopy programming. Which isn't to say it won't work for him. That's the thing. It may work for this guy. Will this mean it's optimal? Will this mean it's good for absolutely everyone? No and no. And optimality doesn't necessarily mean it shouldn't be in or out of your program, right? Preach curl's optimal, but if you hate the fucking movement, why bother? You can do whatever you like. As long as you push it hard, and you have good range of motion, and it goes into your muscle, you should be good. However, there is an extent that gets reached quite often on YouTube Fitness, as we will see here. Oh, let me put this shit into full screen. Full chest workout. Low cable flies, 4 sets of 12. Now, I already am not the hugest fan of this X sets of 10 or X sets of 12. Now, this definitely works. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to be one of these guys that are like, oh, well, you have to train to failure every single second of every single day, ever. Though what I will say, when it comes to beginners, if you're a beginner, you do not know how close to failure this guy's at. You don't know. This guy may be 5 reps in reserve, right? But at least it's 5 reps in reserve. A lot of beginners, they go into these programs like 4 sets of 12, 5 sets of 12. And as you see here, a lot of those workouts also have 50 billion exercises. So they'll obviously hold back and they will stay away from discomfort. So, to make it hurt as least as they can, they will pick the lightest weights to do that 4 sets of 12. Now, again, this may work for him, though I will say, problem here, it is isolation. Now, some say, oh, but pre-fatigue, bro. I think pre-fatigue's pretty overrated for like a lot of people, considering a lot of us are small as hell. What are we to pre-fatigue? What are we to pre-fatigue? All of us are small. Well, I'm definitely small. If I pre-fatigue something, I'm missing out on a lot of stimulus in other movements. If I'm making it so that my chest is like bleeding in terms of just the amount of fatigue, just like, and then I try and do like a incline bench, my triceps and my shoulders get jack shit for stimulus, but my chest is just done. I don't know. Personally, I'm not the hugest fan of that system. Again, I'm not the biggest guy. It works for some people. It is great in certain scenarios. But for me personally, I don't know. Anyway, 4 sets of 12, that's already quite a bit. It is reps in reserve, so it's not going to be like a lot. It's not like, oh, someone, it's low volume for now. Assume we're doing twice in a week. Now I'll go 4 sets of 8 here. Oh, I didn't even see that the first. Brother, hold on. So he does 1 by 1 by 1 here. And then he supersets with a fucking press. What were you doing on the loads of carry? Huh? I didn't even see this the first time. Superset. Okay. I'm a huge fan of supersets when it comes to antagonist muscles, or maybe, for example, chest and calves, or chest and biceps, or pull-ups and I don't know, fucking hamstrings. Why not? Why not? What the hell is this? Also by pull-ups, I mean like pull-ups and hamstring curls. Maybe if you're doing a deadlift, your shit will be a bit sore from the pull. But so, huh? So, I'm actually a little. I didn't even plan this. I'm in a little bit of a disbelief. If you're doing same muscle supersets, ideally it should be something like how Uncle Romy should do it, or would do it, or maybe it targets different heads, for example. So if you're really pressed on time, what you could potentially do is dips and then superset it with overhead, not overhead, like upper chest, super squeezy, like, incline flies. Even then, it's not the most ideal, but it's something a little bit better than this. Uncle Romy does it in a way where if he's doing an incline press, he then goes and really focuses on that upper chest with a little finisher, softer squeeze and move. Well, not softer, but a little lighter squeezy movement with like a resistance band. I don't personally train like that, but I believe that to make a lot more sense than to do an isolation and then superset with an actual compound. That just does not make any sense to me. Like, at all. At all. Especially for the same muscles. And also, one thing you need to say, like, if you're genuinely training really hard, even reps in reserve, you can train really hard, but a lot of people don't do that. You shouldn't need to superset. Like, you should be like, whew, yeah, I feel good. Oh. You shouldn't be like, yeah, let me just get the heaviest fucking dumbbells and why not just get the heavy dumbbells and then finish off afterwards with a good amount of rest after the sets of dumbbells with sets of flies. Anyway, next we're going to incline push-ups, which is just kind of weird. This is definitely what you need to look out for. This is complete novelty, which isn't to say that he doesn't do it, but this is definitely not something needed for a lot of people. I mean, we already done 8 sets. Now, it's 8 sets with the first potentially being 5 reps in reserve, maybe even 6, 7 for some people, because they don't know how to actually gauge failure or whatever. Let's just say 4 reps in reserve for the first set, then it's like completely like 0 RAR the last one. Potentially. Maybe. Let's give you that. 8 sets is still quite a bit for the chest alone. Like, if you're doing that 2 times a week, that's 16 sets. That's pretty good volume. You can just leave the gym right there. Or, of course, after doing other body parts. But then you're adding 4 sets of 12 on incline push-ups, which, by the way, are very easy. Very easy for a lot of people. And the form that you're doing this is close grip. It might actually bias a bit more the triceps. Maybe this is what he's trying to go for, but it says chest workout. You can't see it because I'm a dumbass, but it says chest workout. Oh, you can see a pimple on my freaking ear. Brother, anyway. What? You go to a bench press? So it's 4 sets. Hold on. 4 by 12. So that's, we've counted 12 sets already. Oh, you're joking. Fuck off. Superset? How'd you say? Huh? He just said. So it's incline flies, then it's dumbbell bench, and then it's a superset chain with this. You're holding back like crazy if you're gonna do that. You ideally, for most naturals, should not have any energy after your first set. At least I hit it in a way that's like you can do a good amount of weight. Like, for a stimulative, like, super amount of tension, right? You should be able to, push yourself and then rest. And then you let your fibers get back to, like, make it go, oh my goodness, that was crazy. Now let me recuperate after, like, a couple minutes. It shouldn't be a chain after chain. Because then you're just holding, you're not even... It's beyond sandbagging. Is that even a bag? That's just like a sand crumb. It's a sand particle. That, I don't know. It works for people on gear because blood flow, like the pump, metabolites, that has some effects for hypertrophy. It's exacerbated. It's expanded. Like the potential for growth is expanded when you're on gear. I guess because it shuttles blood better. I don't know, but yeah, it's kind of silly. This is silly billiness. And then he goes incline bench press. One thing to mention: he's already done, I think, 2 incline movements. Yeah, that's incline press. See, one thing I fell into as novice, like a novice. I'm still kind of a novice, but like a super beginner. I would want to do this same thing. I did that same thing. You know, I would do push-ups, then incline push-ups, and then incline, freaking ring push-ups, and then normal ring push-ups, and then close grip push-ups, and then I didn't grow shit from that, by the way. I mean, I grew a little bit, but it plateaued really hard. Like, you do not need extra movements that resemble the movement that you already did. You should be able to push that movement that you did really hard, get as much as you can from that, and then if you want for, like, you know, a little bit of variety, sure, you can put it in there, but the volume has to be equated. You can't necessarily do... A lot of you... listen, I don't care what Mike Israel says, right? I don't care what any of these studies and what any of these scientists say. If you're genuinely training hard, and you are a dude who's, like, made out of, you know, blood and tissue and weak tendons, maybe, just maybe, you don't want to do 80 sets in one day, repeatedly, again and again, just for like a fingernail's worth of growth. And the redundancy factor won't help in terms of the potential for overuse injuries. If you're hitting 2 exercises for the chest, but one's a fly and one's a push, that's a different story to doing push. Now, here is kind of different, because there was a fly, and there was a bench press, and there was a dumbbell bench, so he didn't completely fuck up in terms of programming thing. Again, though, if you hit the incline, you already got... I mean, if you really pushed it hard, which isn't to say the volume's bad. A lot of people may need 4 sets of incline as well as 4 sets of normal if you're like really advanced, or you're picking certain exercises that allow for that volume to be spammed. But if you hit incline and you pushed it hard, you should have the stimulus in order to wake up the growth mechanism. You should. I mean, as Mike Manson once said, you only needed 1 sperm to be put into your mother to make a baby. So, I don't know if you're just doing this, just spamming different movements, thinking it'll get you better. Maybe on steroids, but I've tried it, trust me, not the case. I understand the FOMO though. Incline bench, yeah. And then machine chest. Why? You... Oh, how many exercises has he done? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 exercises. 4 sets each. So 16 sets. Oh, well. Actually, 14 sets. Because the last 2 had 3 sets each. Do you need another press? I mean, 3 of these movements are presses. Do you need another press? Do you? Now, I will say, again, this could work for him. However, full chest workout to build mass. It kind of makes it out to... And this is his channel, I believe. Yep, this is his actual channel. Now again, he may need this volume. He may do, but like full chest workout to build mass. Maybe he's just referring to him. In that case again, it could work. It could work. But beginners, novices, intermediates are watching this. It won't for you. It probably won't. Unless you're holding back so many reps in reserve. Even then though, why not just go out, all out? Why not? All out. You know, you get yourself a fucking... Actually, hold on, has it got another exercise here? No, it's just a machine. Okay, good. I've seen worse. I'll just say that. I have seen worse. I've seen legitimately exercise plans that were 25 sets. That's right, 25. Just for chest. So this isn't horrible in terms of YouTube standards, and I guess if you were to do this once a week, it's not even that bad. I mean, it's still quite a bit of junk volume, but it's not the worst thing. It isn't the worst thing. It clearly works for him if he's doing it. But what can we learn from this? Or at least what can we, should we learn from this? Now, I do agree exercise variety is cool. However, it's kind of impractical at a certain point. I've tried the whole, 1 to 2 sets, do a certain exercise here, then do another exercise here. But I've got a home gym. I don't even have dumbbells. I've got like the adjustable ones. I've got a fling, 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 fling. Oh fuck, where's the other 1.25? Bruh. Oh, here. Fling, and then spin. Bruh, it is a pain in the... And I've got a spin lock actually. I used to have the clamps, but them bitches fell. Like, the weights just fell. And I do not want to do a dumbbell pull-up and that doesn't work for me. So, doing that with a spin lock, holy fuck. But a certain amount of exercise variation can be healthy. It can. And it's good for the psyche to keep it fresh. If you got like 6 hits of incline bench, I mean, technically 6 sets for chest in a workout for certain types of people, though not all may need it, some may need it, and that could work. But not only are you kind of risking a little bit in terms of overuse, you're also just bored. Are you really going to push something that you know you got 6 sets to push? Nah, probably not. Which isn't again to say you need to push to failure. However, a lot of people really underestimate how much failure hurts, because they think a little teensy bitsy itsy witsy bar speed is enough to warrant failure, and I fall into the same category sometimes. I'm like literally pushing, and because I add too many exercises in, I'm like, oh okay, this failure. No the fuck it's not. Nuh-uh. I prided myself on failure training until I realised, kind of a dumbass. So, when you have 2 to 3 exercises instead of just 1, which by the way, 1 is great to be able to keep the neurological adaptations, to be able to really focus on honing in on that movement, which some of you may need, and so too much variation makes it so you're not able to fully adapt to the movement, to be able to make the most of the movement, hypertrophically speaking. But you get like 2 movements instead of 1. You're fresh. Not fresh, especially, you shouldn't really be super fresh after 3 sets of anything. Unless it's rear delts, to be honest. At least in my personal opinion, rear delts and calves, if you're like fresh, like, yeah baby, I didn't even feel shit last time. Yeah, that's how I feel. I don't know if you heard that, but that's how I feel about it. But at least that new movement is cool. It's like, ooh, I did the pushes, not the flies. You just get to work different aspects of stuff, and it just hits. So I will say 4 exercises for chest isn't necessarily the worst thing in the world. Peter Kacharian is now on like a low volume, higher exercise selection sort of thing, and it's working for him, and I don't think he's doing too much for him. If he likes it and he's progressing, That's cool, and this may actually lead to more progression for some people, because if you're doing 6 sets of an exercise, do you really want to push it? Do you really want to even try to get another rep? Okay. Anyway, like 2 minutes. 1 out of 5. No. You wanna just, I mean, however, you get like 2 sets of fucking juicy dips, and then you're like, oh yeah, I got that shit. Yeah, now 2 sets of flies, and it's like, oh yeah, ooh, you get to work different ranges of motion. That's cool. That is fine. So that's the point for this video. Volume though, here's the thing. Again, works for him, but volume is individual. No matter what some sort of study tells you, it is what you need is the amount of volume that makes you progress. And for some, that will be a lot more than they're doing, and for some, that'll be a lot less. I just hope a lot of beginners realize that this is done because probably this is what he needs to progress. Even then, I think is a little excessive, to be honest. But yeah, also he's on gear, potentially. Well, he's on gear, okay. He can progress on anything, which isn't to say it's a bad thing, but it is what it is. Anything else I need to yap about unnecessarily? Oh yeah, the lack of evolving rep ranges and just the straight up 3x12, 3x10. I don't like that system again. It's kind of just a little bit, I mean, it's good when you know how to use it, and I think it works well when you go 3 sets. But 4 sets is kind of pushing it, you're kind of taking the piss. 5 sets, okay, what are you on about? As I said before, if you have 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 sets of an exercise, you're probably, I mean, you could build up the mindset, but you're probably not going to want to push it that hard. You're probably not going to like the feeling of really getting like another rep in. You probably just want this shit to get over. You see this big block in your training, in your notes app, and it's like, rear delt flies, 7 sets of 10. I mean, just the very fact that it's got another number that's definite, that you can't seem to, that the program will not allow you to deviate from, that you have to repeat, like that performance you have to repeat, it automatically means you are not going to want to actually push performance because, God forbid, you have some balls, some cojones to get another rep in, you might actually lose reps. If you put a little bit more weight than you're supposed to for a super safe and efficient and very much guaranteed 12 reps, you might go to 11. And the world will go to, the world will fucking, no. And when it comes to 4x12s, that's an extra set with potentially an extra rep in reserve and in the first set. And the problem is, again, as the number increases, your scale, your internal scale, looking at that and thinking, what way should I choose? What intensity should I go for? It distorts. It's not necessarily linear. I mean, just think about it this way. If you had only 1 set, you will push all out to fucking, like, you know, the rep slows down to like a 10-second grind and you're shitting your bricks, right? With 2 sets, you're still gonna try your best, but it probably won't be the case. 3 sets, I'm not gonna lie, you're probably gonna get 10 and then 10 and then 9. Potentially. In the worst case scenario, if you're like a fast grower, like you're growing really fast, you're progressing really fast, but you actually aren't believing in yourself because it's 3 sets, you may get 10, misread and get 12 the next set, and you're like, oh shit, I got 12? Oh fuck, that's like too much. I thought I would have fit. And then you get 11. Oh God forbid, 10, 12, 12. Which isn't always the case. And I may be exaggerating a little bit. And this is not necessarily going to happen all the time. But this is my experience. And there's a lot of people that like me. Okay? So, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, What would I change personally as someone who's like 50 times smaller than him? Well, first of all, no fucking... Well, actually, I've already kind of gone over those things, but one thing I will say, no supersets with the same muscle, especially if it's like isolation to a combat. Nah. That just straight up won't work for a lot of people. I mean, it's egregious enough with the 4x12 to the 5x12 or the 7x12 or whatever. Fucking doing one exercise right after the other will automatically make you not choose any sufficient weight for the first one. And I believe personally that is beyond, redundant. Unless you're doing a pre-fatiguing thing. And even then, I don't know. My bench or my fucking earphone fell. So if I was in control of this program, this is how I would do it. I would do, say for example, for 10 sets a week, or 12 sets a week if you want to get to a higher volume. Guess what? Yes, you train really hard, that's high volume for you. If you train very reserved, that's lower volumes. I would just say medium to high intensity. 1 rep in reserve maybe, to maybe 1 set to failure. I would say 2 sets, what did he say? Because the exercise selection isn't actually that bad. Thank goodness he didn't do no fucking plate presses or hex presses. Though the benched incline things, kind of redundant considering how big he is. I mean, one could say, oh, it's big, so kind of... But then again, an incline push-up is already an easier variation of the push-up. Nice close grip. Again, it's... Anyway. Not here. Unless you got a really bad problem with feeling your chest on a bench press or something. But even then, that's a form issue. You can do, if you like, maybe 2 sets, and then you move on to like an incline press. And I think that would be good. Honestly, I think that would be good. You can do 1 set of each, if you like. But personally, for me, right? I would choose either of these movements, one of these. I don't think we necessarily need to go incline press and then machine press in a similar motion. Heck, even incline press and dumbbell press, kind of a weird thing. If I had to pick between the two, if I had 2 variations, right? I know I'm yapping a lot, but that's the channel, get fucking used to it. Machine chest press, 2 to 3 sets, 1 RIR to failure with partials. Though personally, I would do to failure with partials if possible. And 2 sets, 1 to 2 sets of low-tie cable flies. That's 1 workout done. That's 4 to 6 hits for the first workout, right? 3 to 6, 3 to 5. The next day, I would say, instead of an incline push-up, I'd say a dip for 2 sets, and then this for 2 sets, or dips for 1 and this for 2. So that's, let's say 2 each, just for simplicity. 4. So overall, got 8 to 10 sets in a week. And for a natural, if you're pushing it hard and you got good form, for a lot of people that should be good. That should be good. And if you're really getting them grindy fucking reps, you may not even need a 3rd set for some of these exercises. So, 2nd set, and then if you get a really grindy rep and you're like getting partials and you're really perturbed in there, I think that's good for a lot of people. So what could I rate this workout as someone who's infinitely smaller than this person? I would say a 3 out of 10. I would say 4 out of 10, because I don't think this guy's like a horrible person or anything. I don't want to seem like I'm attacking this person personally. He could do whatever the fuck he likes. I'm just saying, for a lot of people, this just won't work. Yeah, I said 3 out of 10. That's it for me.